All right. It is time to create a life you desire. And if I look back on my life and I look back on the journey that I've taken, where I've come, how far I have come, it's incredible. And what I want you to know is that this is available for you too. My biggest goal and why I started my business, why I started this podcast was to be able to share the journey. And I also wanted to leave a legacy behind. I want my kids to have my voice to come back and listen to. And my entire life's journey is documented with my voice. I think that is so cool. But when it comes to creating a life you desire, and again, having to reinvent, who are you? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Like, when was the last time you really thought about that? When was the last time you really thought about who you desired to be and the life that you desire to live, what you want to leave behind, what do you want to teach your kids? I think that's the biggest thing for me too is I want to be the example for my kids that they can live the life that they want, that they get to choose how they show up, who they are, and that they're never stuck. I think I always had this fear, just like I talked about in the last episode, like this fear of being stuck in this house, this fear of being stuck in this life situation, this fear of being stuck in programs, all of it. It comes from trauma in my past, and it will be trauma that my kids will not have, but they're going to have different trauma, right? Like we all have trauma. And if you don't know what trauma is, it's basically just something that happened that your nervous system really was not able to process through at the time that it happened, or you didn't have the support that you needed for it to process through. So this could be a kid calling you stupid on the playground in second grade, and you've carried that with you your whole life. That is trauma. And big T trauma is, of course, like your sexual trauma, emotional abuse, or physical abuse, all of that stuff is like big T trauma. And um, but I want you to really think about like, who do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to create? And when I go back and think about reinventing myself and the steps that I have taken, I wanted to share a few of them here with you. When first you have to decide. So when you start creating this life that you desire to live, right? We feel this desire. We know we're meant for more. I know that I am meant for so much more, a bigger life, whatever it is. But I don't know where to begin. And the beginning is like, what do you want? If everything would go perfectly and nothing could go wrong, nobody would be mad at you, nobody would be upset, what kind of life do you want to live? What do you desire to do? And look at that list. You can also ask yourself, like, why haven't you done any of that up until this point? Why haven't you stepped in and done any of that for yourself? And part of the reason might be like, fear, doubt. Remember, like all these little gangsters that reside within us, they're here. They are real. We feel them. And we have to choose to let it go. We have to choose to step up. But this is where we need to connect with our highest self. So we get really clear on what we desire. If no one would be mad, everything would go perfectly. We get really clear on our desire. Then we ask ourselves, like, why haven't we done this? This is when all of those limiting beliefs are going to pop up, right? The limiting beliefs are going to pop up and tell you all of the reasons, right? When we ask our subconscious a question, it will not leave it unanswered. So if you sit with a question long enough, you're going to get an answer to it eventually. But so we ask ourselves, like, why haven't you done this yet? Why haven't you done it yet? What is there for you? What is popping up when you think about doing this thing? That is step number 2. And then step number 3 is like reframing. It's getting these things out of the way. But we cannot just get them out of the way logically. We also have to like get our own trauma selves, our own little gangsters in here, all of these parts of us out of the way too. And this is where breathwork is really beneficial to get these out of the way, to release them. Breathwork helps you release trauma. It helps you let go of the things that are holding you back. But step 3 is getting them out of the way, reframe, decide, oh, if she can do it, so can I. This is the logical piece of it, right? If she can do it, so can I. And the other piece of this, the trauma piece, it's going to like help these little gangsters that pop up is knowing, for me, I have a really strong manager part. So something that's really helpful for this part of me is it wants a plan. And so I'm going to give you the steps, and then I'm going to give you the example of the plan from my manager part. But so then we get all the things out of the way, and then we decide the steps. We're reminding you, like, we don't know how we're going to get there. Truly, we can have an idea of how we want to get there. We can have an idea of the courses that we want to sell, the things that we want to do. But have you ever gotten to a place in your life and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is where I've always wanted to be, or I used to like dream of being here and now I'm here, and you look back, but the plan never went how you thought it would? That is why the how is none of our business. If you've ever heard that, the how is none of your business, because things are going to go differently. So we can make a plan, we can start taking the steps, knowing that when we listen to ourselves and we trust ourselves, those steps can shift. So now let's go back to this manager part of me and the step where we're getting things out of the way. So for this manager part, when we first moved into this new house, we're in Arizona now. When we first moved in, we knew that we needed things. We knew that I was going to have to buy furniture. We knew that I was going to have to buy rugs, like random things, right? All the things that you need to put a house together. And so this part of me was kind of freaking out a little bit, thinking that I was just like on this big spending spree and that all the money was going to disappear. This part got really activated and lit up. And so it needed me to just sit down and look at the money and make a plan. And so I did. I sat down, I added up what we had spent. We were still well under budget, and I tucked money away in all the different savings accounts that we were putting the money in for now. And now this part of me feels so much better. I am buying what we need. Like, I'm having fun with it. This was the part of me that wanted to rob me of that joy. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun to just be able to hop on and just be like, yep, want that, and really pick what I want. Like, as you can see, if you're watching on video, my office is bare. I have a crooked little thing hanging behind me on the wall because they just had a nail there. So I stuck it up there to get it out of the way for now. And I have a empty plant pot, empty vase sitting in the corner. That's all I have right now because I have stuff in my cart. I have a new desk coming. I have a new office chair coming. I wanted a standing desk. My husband and I are no longer sharing an office. And so we're getting rid of this double desk thing that we have. And so this part of me just wanted to know, like, why are we doing this? What are we doing? Like, all the money, you're just blowing money, like all of the things. I had to take the kids school shopping. I had to order them shoes. I had to get them backpacks. We went and got them registered. We've now got to register Kenna in a couple online classes. So that's going to cost somewhere between $400 and $600. We'll see. She took wildlife biology and not biology, and they want her to take regular biology. And I think that that's a waste of time, especially for high school. And so I've been messaging like the district and the curriculum person. The city's just different. And so this manager part of me was really activated. And so maybe you have a really strong manager part that's like, what are we doing? This is too much. You are not doing this right. This is wrong. Like the part of me that still feels like we picked the wrong house, right? There is no right or wrong. This isn't forever. This isn't permanent. And so just know that as these thoughts come up, nothing is ever permanent. You can always change. You're just not going to know the how that you're going to get there, but you can have an idea and you get to trust yourself and allow things to shift. So that is what I wanted to share with you today is that 1, get really clear on your desires. 2, just kind of ask yourself like why you haven't done that yet, because this is where those limiting beliefs pop up. This is why you are not getting what you desire to get. And then 3, I don't want to say overcome them, but we're going to flip the script on them. We're going to look at them differently. We're going to shift our perspective. We're going to choose new thoughts. We're going to release some of the trauma, maybe through breath work. And journaling is really powerful. Journal these out. Get them on paper. There's something with the subconscious mind that when you journal it out, it is so much more impactful than if you were to just think it. And so I want you to think about your body like a jar of fireflies, and the lid is screwed on tight. And all the fireflies that are pinging around in this jar of your body are the thoughts that are keeping you stuck, that are not serving you, the traumas from your past that you are storing energetically, and all of these things. And what breathwork does is it unscrews the lid of that jar so that all these fireflies can fly out. This is the same thing with journaling. It also helps release some of these fireflies from the jar so that new ideas and creativity can flow in. That is the goal of this. And so we have to get it either out on paper, we release it through breathwork. If you're not in my membership, please come join it. This would be so good for you. It's only $29 a month. and it's incredible. We do 2 breathwork workshops per month. I do a quarterly life group coaching call and some other fun little bonuses in there. So if you're not in there, you need to be. But breathwork and journaling help you release all of these fireflies so that the new ideas and creativity can flow in. And then this is where you get to take aligned action. That's like the final step, is you get to take aligned action and start creating that life that you desire. Because what breathwork does for you is it expands your capacity. So maybe in your life, let's just say you get a $10,000 check. Well, maybe you blow that in a few days or a week or whatever. It's because your body is not comfortable with holding that amount of money. So if you were to get $1 million, and you know how you hear about lottery winners, they win $1 million and then it's gone like the next year. They kind of go back and they're like, where are they at? Well, you're like a thermostat and you're set at a certain temperature. And so if the temperature rises, so you get handed a check for $100,000, let's do more than 10,000, let's do 100,000. You get handed a check for $100,000. Well, now the temperature within you just got raised substantially. So the furnace has got to kick on, not the furnace, but the AC's got to kick on and cool that back down to the temperature that you're regulated at. So this is where you blow money. This is where things pop up that you need to spend money on, whatever it is. It's to bring you back down to where you are comfortable. Breath work expands your capacity to hold more because your brain does not know the difference between reality and fake, what you make up in your head, your imagination. This is why our imaginations are so strong, is your brain doesn't know the difference. And so when I do breath work with my clients, we do a lot of visualization. I do a lot of guided visualization to help you see what you desire to see and create what you desire to create. We create feelings within the body and visuals within our minds so that you start to create that in your 3D reality. So that is what this is all about. This is what we do in my membership. This is what I do one-to-one. And I have a group coming up, Unapologetic AF. So if you want in that, that starts in September. But I just want you to know that you get to choose, you get to step in. The how may not be any of your business, but this is where you learn those action steps that you want to take next, the aligned action. This is where it creeps in, is while you're doing the breath work. So that is the steps to finally just becoming who you desire to be now and creating that dream life that you desire to create. We have to become her both mentally and I want to say like emotionally, because when you start to think like her, when you start to show up as her, when you start to make decisions as her, we can do that right now in our current reality, right? We might not have $1 million to go spend or the house to go buy, but we can create an internal reality that reflects what we desire, and we're going to create it so much faster. So when you're ready to collapse time, come and join the membership, reach out to me, let's freaking go. Come and join the mastermind. If you want more in-depth, personalized support for you, then join the mastermind. If you want to test this out, see what it's all about, you're not quite sure yet, you're just getting started, come and join the membership. There are 2 beautiful options for wherever you're at on your journey, and I am here to guide you and support you through all of it, because this is where you create a life that you desire and become unapologetic AF. And I'll talk to you next time.